and music. Live stream. Okay, all right, and we are live over at the Exponential Movements group. Welcome everybody to this conversation. And well, this makes up our launch for the joint venture for this awesome partnership with India's top digital marketing agency and group and institute, being led by one of India's top influencers. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause to Sorav Jain. Sorav, I'm so excited for this, man. Just stoked. Wow, how are you?
I'm good, Mac. Thank you so much. And I'm super excited about this evening as well. How are we doing?
Excellent. I'm very excited with this. And ladies and gentlemen, to those of you who don't know us, allow us to introduce ourselves. And we're going to go right into the topic of why we're doing this. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mac Comandante. I'm an international trainer and coach. And over the past 5 years alone, I've coached and trained over 20,000 entrepreneurs, helping them grow their sales between 30% to 300% in less than a year. And we do that by removing constraints towards exponential growth. Now, when we talk about growing sales, growing the business, how many of you realize that your marketing plays a very important and paramount role? You better make sure that you got your marketing handled. Yes or yes? Type yes there in the chat box. In the comments box, ladies and gentlemen, if you agree. Okay, and that is why I'm very excited tonight, because tonight in this conversation, I have my very good friend. I've known Sorav since 2019. We met in India in a training program, and since then we've become good friends. We've done a lot of co-creation and collaboration work. He is not new to our community. You know him. Okay, if you've been following me by now, you know that we only work with the best. It has become our mission to bring to you the best of the world so that you have access to the best. Okay, and tonight we're very excited because we have finally, okay, we're launching this partnership with, it's not with EcoV, it's with Digital Scholar and with the team of Sorav Jain. Okay, Sorav, would you kindly please introduce yourself to everyone who's watching us live and on replay?
Thank you, Mac. First of all, gratitude for having me in this particular session. And I am very grateful for this opportunity that you have given to us to have something done in Philippines, which is one of the biggest markets where the opportunity for people learning digital marketing is massive, because they are just getting into something very fascinating phase, which is the phase of digital era. Well, my name is Sorav Jain, and I run a very famous digital marketing agency in India, which is called EcoMe, which is almost 11 years old now. And I run an institute which was started in 2019, which is called Digital Scholar. And I teach people digital marketing, how to grow their influence on Instagram, Facebook advertisements, and how do you establish your personal brand on social media. These are certain specializations that I have. I work with 100+ brands in the past few years, And I work with several coaches and consultants and experts who wanted to position themselves as an expert in the field of digital. So these are certain things that I have been doing by far.
Excellent. Wow. And ladies and gentlemen, how many of you notice that when you look at the internet, when you Google digital marketing, if you're looking for the next teacher who can actually guide you in the process, what happens is that there are a lot of people and you're going to find them online and they try to teach you stuff. But the truth is they don't even have the track record. Okay. So these are what we call our false gurus. So ladies and gentlemen, that's why I'm very excited with this, because I feel that there is no other teacher who can teach you the way it's done in a short span of time. Sorav, I'd like to ask you about, when you talk about digital marketing, can you tell us, let's talk about followers, okay? Because I think one of the metric that would be good to look at for a digital marketer would be how many people are following you in these different channels, and in what span of time were you able to grow them to that level?
Fantastic. So I have about 111K YouTube subscribers and close to about 275K Instagram followers at the moment. And I have many other channels where I have about 30, 40 odd K Twitter followers and stuff. But I don't focus on the growth of these channels. I focus on adding value consistently on these channels. And I run advertisements to feature my courses, my programs, and automatically the growth starts to happen because people start seeing value in my content. So I've been creating content for last 12 years now consistently without any pause. There's not even a single day where I have not posted a piece of content coming from my desk, which is in my domain of digital marketing. So I stick onto this domain. I create content in this domain and I share that content with the world out there. And that's what I've been doing. So I think it took so many years. And I always believe that it takes about 10 years for someone to become an expert in the field of digital or to be recognized globally. You need to give that much time, regardless of how late it is or how soon it is. Like some of them think that, okay, it's too late for me to begin because people are already experts and there are already so many consultants, so many coaches, so many personal brands. But the fact is, every creator have their days or good days and the bad days. And the good days happen when they consistently believe in what they are doing. And if you start now and let's say it's 2022 and by 2032, you'll eventually be one of the biggest influencers in your industry. Because when no one believed in you, you believed in yourself when you started this journey. And that's what it takes to get there.
Very powerful stuff. Thank you for creating that distinction early on, talking about adding value. And, for someone who has grown his channel and with hundreds of thousands of followers from different parts of the world, that may seem counterintuitive, but I just love how you put that up front. Now, one of the groups as well that you take care is that I know that you're running one of the biggest Facebook groups as well with digital marketing in the world, right?
Right. It's called Digital Marketing Question and Answers. But I'm no more active there. Because earlier it was for me a very egoistic point. Wow, that I have one of the largest community and I have to serve the community and I would answer to that particular group. And then at a certain point of time, I realized that the group is because Facebook group is structured as such that there are so many questions that just gets dumped in the past.
Yeah.
And people keep popping up with the same question, which has already been answered. So I somehow feel that the group's mechanism, the group exists, people still follow, but my focus is not on the channel. But yes, it's one of the largest group. The focus was to be there for the community and keep adding value. So I keep adding value on my channel, but not on Facebook groups anymore because it doesn't have the right structure to engineer content or keep it in a particular order so that a newbie can still access to whatever has been discussed in the past, or the question forums exist for people to just access to the question that they have on the mind. So it's a very cat on the wall scene. So I don't use that much.
Yeah, thank you. Again, thank you for clarifying that, because ladies and gentlemen, how many of you realize that, again, when you talk about digital marketing courses, there's a lot of courses out there and sometimes it can become very expensive. And the teacher is actually teaching you doesn't actually follow through. What they're just after is that they are just after your money. How many of you ever experienced that? Okay, just type I there in the chat box, in the comments box, if you have also experienced that yourself. That is why with our partnership with Sorav's team, with the Digital Scholar, is that we intend to disrupt the digital marketing space here in the Philippines and in Asia by democratizing access to the best and the most relevant and the most updated digital marketing courses. Because how many of you notice that, again, with regard to digital marketing, all of these platforms, it keeps on updating. Right, Saurav? And I just love that you have one of the segments as well that, what do you call that segment that you actually talk about the latest in digital marketing?
New things in digital.
New things in digital. And you do this on a monthly basis, right? Where
I do this on weekly basis.
On a weekly basis. Wow. On a weekly basis, so that it keeps everyone and everybody in the group updated. Okay, because again, a lot of teachers out there, this is not to judge, I just observed this, that what has happened is that they have become outdated over time.
Right.
Okay, what they teach you are already based on an algorithm that's not even relevant anymore. And then you wonder, why is it that, you know, you're trying to follow them, but it doesn't work for you? Well, it's because the algorithm has already changed. Saurav, I'm going to backtrack a bit because I know your story personally, and I find that story very inspiring. Would you care to share with everyone who's watching this, how did you end up in digital marketing? How was it like starting out?
Cool. Very interesting. So I think like how you said, Mac, you know my story because you were part of the program where I crafted this story also.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll tell how it started. I started when I was a student at Loyola and I was doing biotechnology. And in the first practical class, they gave me a leaf and a stem to dissect. In the first one, they gave me a leaf. And in the second one, they gave me a stem. And when I was looking at it from a microscopic perspective, and I was discovering things that were already discovered in a diagram which was just next to me. So I asked my professor, what's the point in discovering things which has already been discovered? She said, that's how you learn. And I said, no, that's not what I want to do, because I see that you've given me leaf this time and stem now, and maybe roots in the future, and maybe seeds in the future. And this is not what I want to do. So I mentally continued my education, but second year of my college is when I started hunting for a part-time job. And I used to work 8 to 1. I used to go to college from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. And the evening I used to work in a digital marketing agency. And I learned how to write content for websites so that the content starts coming on the top of Google search results when people would search for those keywords. So I learned the art of bringing website on top of Google search results way back in 2006, when people didn't even know there was something called Google itself to search. So yeah, right. So I learned that and I really realized that, wow, this is magical. But I was not very confident because I was too young and I was just making money. I was just making 4,000 rupees a month, which is hardly some pesos. But I was very happy. So I focused, the next thing I did was I exactly focused on creating. I went to UK. I did my post graduation in from University of Leeds. I did my master's in international marketing management. And when my teacher who was teaching me digital marketing, and she was trying to teach certain things, I was more confident in answering those things, and I was clarifying certain things, and I was rectifying the mistakes that she was making. And when they gave me an assignment, I was giving my 500% to that assignment. And in fact, I completed my assignment. I finished two of my friends' assignment, and I did not do that for any other subject. So I realized this is what my calling is, because if you could do something with your 200 or 500%, that means you're extremely passionate about it. So I came back to India. I joined a digital marketing agency. My dad pulled me off the job, pushed me into his business, and he said, mind your own business, because he ran a textile business. And that was very suffocating for me. And my elder brother came to me and said, why don't you start writing about things that you're extremely passionate about? So I started my blog in 2009, which is called soravjain.com. I started writing about digital marketing agency, digital marketing trends, facts, stats, and all of that. And that's what made my blog come on top of Google search results when people would search for anything to do with digital marketing, which got me my first client from Spain, which made me quit my dad's business and start my very own digital marketing agency. So I learned one thing in this journey, that if you are to, I learned that I don't have to chase clients. I don't have to chase money. If you sit on your desk and you create content and add value in lives of people, you automatically open doorways of opportunity for the world. And that was the beginning point. So it all started, I began my journey like that. And how I scaled it up is when I was completely bankrupt because the company which was investing in me pulled the hands off the first client. So I had some 30,000 rupees in my account and I had about 4 employees. I had to pay a lot more salary than the money that I had. So I put that money into Facebook ads. I did my first workshop in Mumbai. I flew down there. I did my workshop. People walked inside. They gave me my first consulting assignment. They gave me revenue that I wanted to run my show. And the show kept going on. So it was just I learned there's only one thing that can change the world. Because of my ability to take the risk of doing a corporate workshop and making professionals walk inside. And from there, I got 4 clients. I realized that I need to educate the world about digital marketing in order to acquire them as a client or consultant. So I did 2 things. One, I continued to educate people through YouTube, through my blog, through my email, through a free course on Udemy. And I continue to do workshops across the country. Even if I would not make massive revenues out of it, I would still do a ticketed event, because if there were 30 people in the room, there would be 3 people wanting to work with me that would become my potential client. And I would sell these events through digital. So it is a complete digital ecosystem that I've built around me as an individual. So as long as we are confident about who we are, what we want to do, and if we could dedicate our time in learning the art in which we want to be the best in the world, then there is no one who can take away that particular designation that you have given to yourself, or the role that you have given to yourself, or the crown that you've given to yourself for the amount of effort that you put in learning about it. And that's what I keep doing even today. I just don't stop learning. Even now, before this call have happened, I was just watching someone else webinar just to learn from how they were selling through the webinar, what are they doing in the webinar. So I keep learning every single day in order to evolve in my industry. And that's what it takes for us to become who we want to become in any industry for that matter.
I love that, because there's just so much congruence in what you're talking about now, Saurav. Okay, because I feel that, and I'm gonna segue towards about the people that you've helped, the organizations that you've also helped along the way. What is the experience like? But I noticed that there are coaches or digital marketers. They're there for the first 3 months and so on. But what happens is that 6 months later, they're gone. Okay, because I feel that what's really missing, well, it's because they have not updated themselves. That's one. Second is that it's because they lack the ecosystem, okay, which is actually what you have described right now. So thank you for bringing that up. Now, along the way, so who are some of the brands, and what are some, I know that right now, the Digital Scholar and Ecomi is also a partner of Google and of Facebook with the certifications. Is that right? Am I getting this right? And in relation to the brands that you've helped, which are some of the companies that you've already helped, and some of the students as well? How many people have you helped along the way? Can you please expound on that a little more?
Okay, so Digital Scholar is a brainchild that happened in 2019. It's also, I'll tell you the story why Digital Scholar happened. So when I would travel across the country doing workshops on the weekends, 3 days and 2 days, a lot of people would call me and say, can I take your students for my company? And I would say, just 3 days workshop. I don't know if they're industry ready yet. I realized this was one of the reasons. Second, I ran an agency and it was so difficult for me to source experienced, talented or talented, knowledgeable in digital marketing industry.
Yeah.
Because the world is heading digital, and you can't deny the fact that during COVID times, the only thing that came as a peace of mind, or it's a solution for peace, keeping your mind at peace, is the digital world, right? So it gave us opportunity to earn, it gave us opportunity to learn, it gave us opportunity to entertain, educate, engage ourselves. So we have realized that the power of digital is massive. So when when I was in 2019, even before lockdown happened, I wanted to create a machine where I can pull in talent in my agency so that I can scale my agency. And that was basically my institute. And all those calls that I could receive, and I would ask for people who wants to learn digital market, or who wants digital marketers. So I could give them industry ready digital marketers. So I realized that I learned it from my mentor too, that, you know, if we really want to add value in lives of people, it's just not about educating, but it's about taking accountability. And hence Digital Scholar happened, so that we can become accountable about someone's interest in digital marketing and make them industry ready. So
Mm,
this course we crafted because this is not like any other digital marketing course where, you know, the certifications are just issued for the sake of it. This
yeah.
is where we learned that everything that I know of running a 10-year-old digital marketing agency, what is important for instant success, what is important for a person to learn, because digital marketing is like an ocean, and if you just want to learn few important things, that you need to know what do you have to learn. So those important things is something that we have crafted inside the program.
Mm,
Yes, we have certain certifications. We have partnership with Google partner as an agency. So we have that experience of handling big brands and millions of dollars as advertising budgets. So
mm,
our experience of handling that is what we share with the students. So when students learn from experienced practitioners, they get the first hand insight, because it's not an educational institute. It's like a mini agency experience that you have for 3 to 6 months, so that you get to know what it takes to run an agency
mm.
all on your own.
So it's like applied digital marketing.
It's like applied digital marketing, because that's what is the need of the hour. So many people, many institutes, they just have pre-recorded courses.
Right.
They may not have accountability for the task which has been done. They don't bring the experience that is required. It's very bookish. But here it's all about practicality. It's all about what's happening in real time. It's a group learning atmosphere. So there's a lot of cohorts that we create as agencies, smaller agencies. So people learn like that. And that's important.
That's interesting because earlier today I had several meetings with different universities as well. One of the things that we are helping them with is that you see in the Philippines, there's now what it's called an Innovation and Startup Act. And that actually activates innovation, entrepreneurship, and startups in different universities. And what I also noticed is that one of the courses that schools are developing is really on digital marketing. Unfortunately, when I go deep into checking the who are the people that are teaching the marketing component, a lot of them, and this is not judgment, it's not to put anyone down, but this is just to report that there are teachers who don't even have the experience with regard to marketing anything, and they are teaching. Okay, so that is why what I believe is that there is a gap. Okay, that if we are to make Filipinos, okay, stand out in the global market space, so that they would be able, so that we would be able to service big brands, global brands, we better make sure that the skill sets are up to the task. Okay, but the challenge is that if the approach is very theoretical, then therefore, how sure are we then that the person that comes out of the training is actually ready? That's why what I like about the digital scholar, what you're describing right now, is that they actually get to have that hands-on experience in your
Right,
digital marketing course,
right.
right?
Right. I've learned Philippines market for digital right now,
Hmm,
and it is at a very nascent stage. You
hmm,
know, so people who learn that now, this skill is going to be one of the most important skill in this 2022 and 2023 and the years to come.
hmm,
So if you master it very early on, you just don't get opportunities, but you get to create opportunities, because once you learn this art, you can also teach this art, and you can even consult many people. So you create opportunities for many people, and you also get opportunities for yourself.
hmm,
So people who are going to get into marketing and sales and management, digital marketing is a must have. Any entrepreneur in this world,
hmm.
if they are not going to gain their knowledge in digital marketing, then they are not going to survive. They say survival of the fittest. And today, people who have digital knowledge are going to survive, because we never know when the next pandemic or when the next lockdown may happen, because it's totally unpredictable. I have seen two kinds of entrepreneurs of people. One who were panicking because they could not run their show, because their shops were shut and they just could not go out, and they were paying huge rent and they were under debts.
True.
They could not pay salaries. And then there were smart people who had got their plan B, which is digital ready. They were already digital ready, so they were scaling up massively. People who made money during lockdown are people who had digital businesses, or they were running digital ecosystem. And some businesses took a very strong call. The moment lockdown got removed, they started transforming their business, or they were trying to bring in a hybrid model of both offline and online, so that when the offline does not happen, online happens, or both has to simultaneously run. I have worked with traditional marketers and traditional business owners, and they were making millions of dollars offline. And when they went rock bottom during lockdown, some of them really went into depression, and some of them took that as a strong call, and they reclaimed the lost glory because they could shift their entire business digitally. And as a team, they learned digital, they implemented digital, and they scaled their business digitally. And they were able to pay salaries of about 400, 500 employees because they could shift their business digitally. So it's important for us to understand that it's the right time to learn digital. It's always the right time because it's a means of communication that is only going to grow and become better.
Okay, did I lost you, Sorav, or was it me who got disconnected? Okay, as we're waiting for Sorav to come back, team, I'd like to talk about a couple of things around this topic. Okay, number one is that let's talk about statistics here in the Philippines. You see, 99.5% of the businesses here in the Philippines are actually micro, small, and medium businesses. That's 99.5% of the businesses in the country. Okay, so you can imagine that. And this is what I noticed. I noticed that majority of those businesses are still running as a legacy organization, meaning to say they have not yet transitioned to the digital space. Okay, good. Sorav is back. And aside from that, the second statistics that I'd like to show to you or to talk about would be, I'd like to share with you would be, so right now we're about 112 million Filipinos. Now, if we look at the number of people that are in Facebook in the Philippines alone, there's more than 80 million Facebook accounts. Imagine that. So the adult population is at 70 million, 71 million in the Philippines, but about 80 million Facebook accounts. So you can think about that. Really, in parallel to the population, you have a digital ecosystem, a digital economy, and a digital network that is also present. Okay. So good. Sorav, I can't see your video, so if you can turn it back on, that would be great. Okay,
Mac, there is a small issue right now. There's a power cut and there's a challenge. Yeah, so we will have to, I don't know, it's never happened, but I think it happened during this call. So I've just shifted to my phone and I'm continuing to talk to you from the phone.
Okay, that's cool. All right, guys. So yeah, so two statistics. And the third one in relation to that is while we're already transitioning back to face-to-face meetings, the digital space is something that we cannot abandon. In fact, I believe that now is the time to actually double down, because if you're not marketing, then your competitors are actually marketing. And where would you market during this time? Okay, again, in the digital space, you better be able to own your domain in Facebook, in Instagram, and really be able to capture the touch points that your customers are also present in. Okay, whether they would be looking for information in YouTube, in Google, in Instagram, or what have you in Facebook. Okay, and what I like about this is that, again, our intention here, team, is that we want to help entrepreneurs and we want to help people who are interested in digital marketing to up-level their skill set. Now, I know you won't be able to see Sorav, but just listen to his voice right now. Sorav, can you please talk a bit about some of the courses that are available out there? And team, here's the thing. Get ready, because some of these courses right now, the way we democratize this is that this is going to be available for all of you for as low as 500 pesos to about 1,000 pesos. And this is how we intend to help the Filipinos. Okay, Sorav, can you please talk about some of these courses, whether this is about Instagram growth, YouTube, and what have you?
So we have many courses with us. We have courses right from growing your Instagram as an influencer to master your reels so that you can create some kick-ass reels for yourself.
We have courses for WhatsApp automation because that's the need of the hour, marketing automation. We teach people about email marketing, Quora marketing, because that's where people hang out when they want to get their questions answered. And then we have full-fledged digital marketing, which is a 4 months program where you graduate as a digital marketer and earn opportunities across the internet.
What can they expect for the, so here's what I'm going to do, Sorav, so that everyone can have access to these courses. Later on, team, I'm going to be posting the link to these courses in the description of this video. Okay. And, but aside from that, you talk about the 4 months course. Can you please talk more about that? When is this going to start and what can the participants expect when they enroll?
So in the 3.5, 4 months course that we have, they are asked to create their own website. So we help them designing the website, which they can sell as a skill and start making money out of that. That's number one. Now, number two, we help people in learning how to bring these websites on top of Google search results. So we help them with SEO. The third important thing is social media. So we help people about how do you create your website? How do you create those beautiful pieces of content on social media? And how do you upload them so that you can help brands establish their communication strategy? So how do you create that end-to-end? And the most important thing that we teach people is performance marketing, where we teach people about creating funnels, running advertisements, driving traffic to their site, driving conversion, and sending emails to their audiences. And how do you do all of that? Is something that we cover inside this 4 months program. Plus, this program is not as an individual. You become part of a group. So you get a group where you will be joining and learning along with them. So you work like an agency. So any skill that you acquire, we also teach you how do you sell those skills. So that also gets covered on how do you create proposals, how do you be in an agency, how do you start an agency. So we cover all of that inside the 4 months program.
I'm very excited for this program, Sorav. That is why early on we've been talking about universities, right? Because we are also going to be opening this up to our network in universities and schools so that we can also help the students become better in digital marketing. Okay, not just because they think they know how, but really actually have a hands-on experience as you're describing. So aside from that, Sorav, who are the teachers in this program?
So all my teachers inside of this program are people who are practitioners. They have been working with me in my agency. So I teach one of the chapters, Rishi, who's my younger brother, also a experienced marketing automation specialist, teaches about marketing automation. The person Karthik, who teaches about SEO and website designing, has minimum of 10 years of experience in the industry. So there are experts who will teach you about Google Ads, Facebook ads, social media marketing. Everyone who teaches this subject has an industry experience of 4 to 5 years and have at least handled 40, 50 brands in their journey by far, so that they know they walk their talk and they're just not teaching for the sake of teaching.
Very nice. Excellent. So team, again, how many of you are interested? Just type interested there in the comments box. We'll reach out to you. We'll be sending you the links in a little while. Okay, good. Sorav, we can see you again. Is the power back?
Yes, the power is back. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah. So let me summarize that. The program is gonna run for 3.5 to 4 months, and it is gonna start on June 18. Is it 18 or the 20th? It's the 18th, right? This month. And what is gonna happen is they are gonna be working in groups. They would have experience with teachers who are the best at what they do, teachers who have deep knowledge with regard to digital marketing and dedicated expertise as well. And they're going to be working like an agency. Now, what makes this program special is that not only you teach the theory, not only they would have hands-on experience, but at the same time, you would also be teaching them how to sell their expertise moving forward so that immediately they would have return on knowledge investment. Am I getting it right? Right?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, good. I'm totally stoked. And wow, Sorav, you know what? Again, truly appreciate you, buddy, for being here, for spending time with us. Okay, saying hi to Rishi as well for setting this one up. And yeah, we're gonna be expecting you here at least once a month to show up here in the community, right? We're gonna have this Q&A. And meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, again, in a little bit, I'm gonna be posting the links to all of the courses in the description of this video. And do expect that we're also gonna be running ads to that. Okay. So again, just know that once you see it, all you have to do is go ahead and do not dally. Okay. And learn and implement. And if you have questions, you know where to find us. It's going to be here in the Exponential Movements community in Facebook. There is also going to be a Telegram channel for you so that on a regular basis, we are going to be updating you on what is happening in this space. Okay. So again, if you have questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. You have access to me. You have access to Sorav. Sorav is in the group. Rishi is also in the group. Okay, good. Nick, you're interested? Yeah, of course. I'm going to be sending it over, Nick. It's going to blow your mind. I promise you. Okay, and good stuff, Nick. You know what? I know Nick Alvarez and smart move, Nick, because you're going to be ahead versus everybody else. Thanks for watching, Nick. Sorav, what is your final message to everyone who's watching this live and on replay as well?
Okay, I believe that you are lucky that Mac is bringing this to Philippines. And my final message to all of you is it's always good to jump onto the trends early on so that you have the added advantage of the first mover. They call it first mover advantage, which I always have it. So I follow trends very closely. I was using Instagram even before people were believing in it. And today it's one of the biggest things up there. So I always watch out for trend and I start catching up with the trends. So it's important for you to learn that when you catch up with trends, you set the standards. So if you are catching up with these trends early on now, and when you're going to get inside the company, and when they will say, I want to do digital, and when you give your expertise and your knowledge to them, they will consider you as an expert in this domain because there is nobody else who knows as much as you. And by the time they learn, you're already evolving with the experience. So this is the time for you to learn digital, or else it's going to be very late.
Yep, totally agree with that. In fact, I'm going to build on it, ladies and gentlemen. If not now, then when? And if it is not through us, then through who?
So
who would be the best person to teach you this? Who has the credibility, who has been in the field, who has so much depth in the knowledge coming from experience with over how many $1 million have you spent over on ads and digital marketing, Sora, with all of the companies and the clients that you've served?
More than 500,000 US dollars.
Wow, right? So I want you to think about this one, team. Who can you learn it best than from someone who's been very successful in that field and someone who has also helped a lot of people along the way? Ladies and gentlemen, truly appreciate you for watching. So watch this space, okay? And go ahead and check out these different courses. Again, we're very excited with this partnership with the Digital Scholar, Success Academy. The community is here. It's called Exponential Movements. That's a community. And who knows, later on, you know, the space is just growing. So you better be ready and capture more opportunities. That's it for now. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great evening, everyone, and we'll see you in the group. Bye-bye for now. Take care.
Bye.